And now, to wrap up the show, we have the new town manager for an interview. Thank you very much for coming in and joining us.
Thank you for coming
Mr. Jeff Bridges. Now, we have some questions for you. Number one, how has life changed for you since you moved here from Kansas?
It's gotten faster.
Okay.
Moving back to New England from where we lived in Kansas, things move a little faster. There's a lot more people. Things are a lot closer. I used to drive for an hour to get from city to city in western Kansas. Here everything is right next to one another. So getting used to the pace again is what's been the biggest change for us.
It's interesting.
What are some of your goals that you have as town manager in Wethersfield?
Well, as a town manager, you always want to do a good job. You always want the people to think that the government you work for is effective, that the staff are providing good services. But the goals, most of the goals we have are those of the elected officials. They're the ones that set the policies. They're the ones that set the goals for the town, and that's really what we want to do, is make sure those goals are met.
Okay. Now, tell us anything Wethersfield may not know about you that you want them to know.
That my office door is always open. People, if they have a problem, they can always come see me, and maybe we can work on their issues and get those resolved.
Okay.
Sounds good. What made you want to come to Wethersfield, such a small town, and become town manager here?
Well, Wethersfield may be a small town in Connecticut or New England standards, but in Kansas it'd be one of the biggest. And we're originally, my wife and I are originally from upstate New York.
Okay.
So this was almost a homecoming for us. We grew up about 2 hours from here. So coming back to New England was what we wanted. It's closer to our family. Wethersfield represents a professional challenge for me. It's the largest municipality that I've been the chief executive officer of. So maybe small to you all, but to me it's a step up. The last city I worked for was a city of about 10,000 people.
Okay.
But I also work for the state government and others. But as a CEO, Wethersfield is the largest.
Now, what do you like to do on your free time?
Well, I have two small children, a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. So my free time is more or less spent with them, and that's what I really enjoy to do, my wife and I. Soccer games, baseball games, going to the movies, those type of things is really what we like to do in our spare time.
Cool.
How does Wethersfield compare to Kansas?
Oh, they're both beautiful communities. The community of Wethersfield, when you think about New England communities, Wethersfield is that thought.
Yeah.
Kansas has a nice place to live. The city we lived in was very new. Over 50% of the city was built in the last 10 years.
Wow.
That's not Wethersfield. Wethersfield is a very historic, very mature community. But if you want to live in New England, you could not pick a better place.
Is there anything that you want to tell the people of Wethersfield that you may not have gotten a chance to tell them before?
I've spoken to a lot of people. A lot of people have a lot of opinions they're very passionate about in the community, and I want to hear what everybody has to say. I want to hear what their opinions are, and if we can all work together to move the town forward, then I want to be part of that process.
Now, two more questions for you. What's the hardest part about being town manager?
The hardest part is putting it down. Anybody that works any job has to take time off to refresh and recharge. There always is work to do tomorrow, but you have to put it down once in a while. And being able to do that is tough. Dealing with people is always going to be difficult, but if you treat them with respect and you listen to their concerns or you take care of their issues, but always treating them with the respect you would want to have, I think that makes that easier. So people always say, well, the people part of the job is tough. Well, resolving their issues may be tough, but dealing with a person one-on-one or in a group, as long as you're respectful, as long as you treat them the way you want to be treated, then that makes it easier.
Now, last question. When you were in Kansas, correct me if I'm wrong, you'd never seen a tornado, as most people believe, like, there's tornadoes every week. What was it like, coming here and, during that crazy time in Wethersfield with the tornado?
It was weird because you're absolutely right. When my wife and I, my family lived in Kansas, we had been in the vicinity of funnel clouds, hailstorms, those type of things, but never actually in a tornadic event. The city I worked for, we had a siren system. We'd light them off, a couple, 3 times a year. but never been in the middle of a tornado. So when we were here that day, we're sitting in the parking lot at the real estate office waiting for the this thunderstorm to go by, and we're like, okay, it's kind of windy, we'll just wait.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, it's an F1 tornado. So it was pretty strange.
Yeah, we were
absolutely pretty strange.
We were here actually when the tornado hit, and we were getting ready for a show, and I think we were actually in the middle of it. We were looking out the window. It was just completely black, and it was just crazy. It was a really neat experience. But thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks
Appreciate it very much.
Really appreciate it.